Now in this class we discuss about the last phase of the electrochemistry. Actually in the beginning we already divided this chapter in three phases. First phase, the concept of conductance. Second phase, the concept of electrode potency and electrochemical state. And third phase, important notes. More broadly we can say that the quantitative aspect of electrolysis called the Faraday law. So after the completion of first and second page, here we discuss the last page of this chapter. So now we begin the last page. Quantitative aspect of electrolysis, they are also called as Faraday law. But again one thing, already in the beginning class we can see that any material conduct electricity in a two way, either in elemental state or in their chemical substances, chemical compound, given the name that place is like a electrolyte. And Faraday law is directly related with the electrolyte during the electrolytic phenomenon, especially what amount of material deposited and what quantity of electricity is passed through there. But again one thing necessary for me, when we discuss about the quantitative aspect about the electrolysis, again we account the concept of electrolyte. Then you must be easy to understand the quantitative aspect. First we given the definition about the electrolyte. In general sense we can say that any chemical substances, more commonly in their aqueous state, taken for the purpose to dissociation or ionization into their constituent ions by passing electric current from the external sources is known as electrolyte. But more broadly, again we want to give a definition about the electrolyte. Actually, the chemical substances in their fused state, molten state, phase state, but we can say that more commonly in their aqueous state, taken for the purpose, taken for the purpose of dissociation or ionization in their constituent ions, we can say that they ultimately converted into atom or molecules, but here their constituent ion by passing electric current from the external sources by the help of two metal rod called an electrode known as electrolyte, and the phenomenon actually given the name as electrolysis. So these are the concepts about the electrolyte. Again very quick, that's the definition. Those chemical substances they are fused, molten or more commonly in their phase state, as well as more commonly in their aqueous solution, taken for the purpose of dissociation or ionization in their constituent ion, that the atom or molecule, by passing electric current from the external sources by the help of two metal rod, actually here known as electrode, during electrolytic phenomenon is known as electrolysis. And the container in which that whole phenomenon is done is known as electrolytic cell. For example, when you take in the aqueous solution of sodium chloride and by the help of two metal rod, electric current passed through there, they undergo dissociation into their constituent ion like Na plus charge and Cl minus charge. Ultimately, that dissociated ion might start to migrate in their opposite terminal, and either by losing or gaining, they may be converted into their constituents atom molecules like chlorine gases, sodium atom, or hydrogen gases, but they depends upon the different conditions. So these are the concepts about electrolyte. But again here, electrolyte is three types, and the electrolyte must be classified into three types. They becomes like a strong electrolyte, they becomes like the weak electrolyte, and some are also called as the non-electrolyte. So what do you mean by here the strong electrolyte? We already see in the beginning classes, those chemical substances actually undergo the complete dissociation or ionization into their constituent ion by passing external electric current is known as a strong electrolyte. Similarly, those chemical substances either in their fused state, but more commonly in their aqueous state, dissociated into their constituent ion, but in a little extent. That means they always undergo the partial dissociation or ionization in their constituent ion, depends upon their degree of dissociation, called the weak electrolyte. But certain chemical substances are even present, even after passing very long period of time, electric current, but doesn't dissociate it into their constituent ion, is known as the weak electrolyte. So you see the one things here in the whiteboard. So we begin here the Faraday law, but we already say that we discuss the electrolyte because they must be related with the electrolyte. And here the three form of electrolyte: strong electrolyte, weak electrolyte, and non-electrolyte. We already given the definition about electrolyte, strong electrolyte, and weak electrolyte. Also the non-electrolyte. You see here the certain example for the strong electrolyte like aqueous NaCl, aqueous NaOH, dilute aqueous HCl, dilute aqueous H2SO4. It is here they always undergo the maximum extent for the dissociation into their constituent ion, so created as a strong electrolyte. Now you see here the weak electrolyte, that is for example ammonium hydroxide, the aqueous solution of ZnCl2. If the impurity containing water is taken, that means the presence of acid, base or salt, they also undergo the partial dissociation or ionization. So water is also considered as a weak electrolyte. But we know that pure water becomes the non-electrolyte. Ultimately we write here the non-electrolyte. That means even passing electric current very long period of time, they doesn't dissociate it into their constituent ion, is known as the weak non-electrolyte. So certain example here we saw the benzene, and most of the organic compounds become the non-electrolytes. After the discussion of these things, one question arises here. When we pass the electric current from the external source into taken chemical substances called the electrolyte, what amount of that materials actually deposited at cathode and anodes? It depends upon the strength of electric current passed through them. It depends upon what time period that electric current passed through them. The first time actually Michael Faraday, we can say that in about 1833 to 1834, first time able to establish a relation between the amount of electric current, that means the strength of electric current passed through the electrolyte, and the amount of material deposited at a particular electrodes. That law, that place is given the name as a Faraday law. So now we start here the Faraday law. You again see in the whiteboard, we write here the Faraday law. Actually, the relation between the quantity of charge passed through an electrolyte and the amount of substance deposited at a particular electrode, commonly given the name as a Faraday law. We already say. That means they are directly related to amount of material deposited by passing quantity of electric current on them. So commonly called as the Faraday law. Faraday law actually formulated the two important laws, given the name as a Faraday first law as well as Faraday second law. So now we begin the Faraday first law. You see here the Faraday first law. We here given the one definition in a written form. We also given you the another form of the statement of Faraday law. What do you mean by here? You see here, according to first law of Faraday, the mass of any substance is deposited or dissolved or liberated at any electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity, that is charge, passed through the electrolytic solution. What is the meaning of about these things? Very simple. Okay, the amount of any substances deposited at a particular electrode, such as cathode or anode, is completely depends upon the extent of a quantity of electric current passed through them. That means here the amount of material deposited either cathode or anode is directly proportional to quantity of the electric charge passed through the electrolytic solution during the electrolysis. These are called as the Faraday first law. So we want to discuss here the mathematical treatment of Faraday law. Again we repeat one thing. Faraday law is also stated in a number of ways.
in another language we even say that we can say that the mass of any substance is deposited or dissolved at any electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of the electric current or electric charge passed through them. So in mathematical treatment, let us suppose that W amount of any quantity, any substance deposited at cathode or anode when Q coulomb of electric current pass through them. Let us suppose that you in a whiteboard you see here. Now you see here W is the amount of any material deposited during the electrolysis at a particular electrode, and Q here is the quantity of charge in coulomb of electricity passed in electrolytic substances. Then according to, you see here, then according to first law of Faraday, W directly proportional to Q. What? W directly proportional to Q. That means W equal to Z into Q. Here we introduce the one term Z. Z is in the proportionality concept. We discuss more about it, but you again see, but we know that from the physics concept, Q becomes equal to I into T. What? Q becomes equal to I into T, where I is the current in ampere is passed through the electrolytic solution, and T the time in second. That means which time period the electric current passed through the electrolytic solution. That means if we put the value of Q equal IT in A of relations, we have the important relation here. You see, firstly W directly proportional to IT. Then we write here what you see here, W equal to Z into IT. So these are the first mathematical treatment about Faraday law. That means W equal to Z into IT. Here Z is the proportionality constant, but more commonly they are called as electrochemical equivalent of the substances. So these are the concepts about the Faraday first law. Again we summarize quickly. Firstly, the definition: the amount of any material deposited at a particular electrode, either cathode or anode, is directly proportional to the quantity of electric current passed through them. So if a W amount of material is deposited by passing Q coulomb of electric current on them, that time the mathematical treatment we can say that W directly proportional to Q, but you know that from the physics Q becomes equal to I into T, therefore W becomes equal to Z into, that means another language, W directly proportional to IT. So we write here W equal to Z into IT, where Z is called electrochemical equivalent. So again you see the last relation, W equal to Z into I into T, where Z is the proportionality constant, but more commonly here called as electrochemical equivalent of the substance. So these are the concepts about your first law of thermodynamics. But when we move towards the second law of Faraday, it is more important. You also have the certain idea about the electrochemical equivalent. What? Electrochemical equivalent, that is Z, actually appear during the Faraday first law. So again you see now here in the whiteboard, electrochemical equivalent. Now we can say that here from the Faraday first law we have W equal to Z into I into T. Yes or not? Now when we taken I equal to 1 ampere and T equal to 1 second. What? In this equation, if we take an I equal to 1 ampere and T equal to 1 second, then above relation becomes W equal to Z. Yes or not? So these are here the electrochemical equivalent equal to W. In these cases, if you see these things, we easily define the electrochemical equivalent. So according to these things, we can see that here the one thing. How can you define the electrochemical equivalent? These are, you see here, the amount of any material deposited when only 1 ampere of electric current is passed through by only 1 second during the electrolysis is known as electrochemical equivalent. What? Again we repeat. The amount of any material deposited at a particular electrode when we only supply 1 ampere of electric current by only 1 second is known as electrochemical equivalent. Thus, Z becomes equal to, you see from the above, Z becomes equal to W by I into T. So these are the mathematical treatment and the concept about electrochemical equivalent. Again you see here, we again want to define the electrochemical equivalent. Remember quickly, electrochemical equivalent of substance is equal to the mass of material, that is mass of the substance deposited when a current of 1 ampere is passed for only 1 second is known as here electrochemical equivalent. Another number of concepts of electrochemical equivalents are also present. Normally we can see that Z is calculated by the help of the formula like Z equal to 1 divided by N into 96500 coulomb. It is also equal to E capital E by 96500 coulomb, where E equal to Z into 96500 coulomb, and E is known as equivalent weight of the element, A is known as atomic mass, molecular mass, and N is the valency, that is the number of mole of electron either lose or gain. So various concepts of electrochemical equivalents are also present in physics. So now we quickly want to introduce the Faraday's second law. So firstly, you see in that places, you see the whiteboard, Faraday's second law. You doesn't see here, you only see the whiteboard. What is the second law of Faraday? Very simple. The mass of the different substances deposited or dissolved or liberated by the same amount of electric current are passed through the electrolytic solution, which is directly proportional to their equivalent weight. Again we repeat, the mass of the different substances deposited or dissolved or liberated by the same amount of the electricity are directly proportional to their equivalent weight or equivalent mass. But one thing, for more easy study about this law, we want to define in another way. We are more easier about you to understand them. That means this law actually say about when number of electrolytic solutions are taken in a different electrolytic cell and connected in a series, and the same quantity of electricity passed through them. What? Same quantity of electricity passed through them. Then the amount of material deposited at a particular electrode is a particular electrode. We can say that liberated or dissolved at the respective electrode are in the ratio of their equivalent masses. What? Again we repeat. When number of electrolytic solutions are connected in a series in a different electrolytic cell and same quantity of electricity passed through them, then the amount of material deposited is always, you will see here, always directly weight or equivalent mass. But we can say that it is also equal to the ratio, that means the ratio of their equivalent mass. Again we repeat, the second form of the Faraday's second law. When the same amount of current is passed through the taken solution of different electrolyte connected in a series, the mass of the substances deposited at respective electrode are directly proportional to their equivalent masses. Again we repeat the another form of the statement. In another word, when the same quantity of electricity is passed through a number of electrolytic solutions connected in series, their masses of different material liberated or dissolved at the respective electrode are in the ratio of their equivalent masses. So these are known as their second Faraday law. You see here. Hello. You see here. That means if you want to undergo the mathematical treatment, we can write like this. W1 divided by W2 equal to E1 divided by E2 equal to Z1 divided by Z2. You see here, we already say in the statement. What statement we given? Well, number of, suppose that we have two type of electrolyte taken in that contain different electrolytic cell, and the same amount of electric current pass through them. In the first container, W amount of material is deposited. Their equivalent weight becomes E1, and second container, W2 amount of material deposited. Their equivalent masses becomes E2. In these conditions, we already say their ratio becomes equal to equivalent weight. So W1 divided by W2 equal to E1 divided by E2. We also introduce here equal to Z1 by Z2. We already say this thing becomes electrochemical equivalent. Suppose that we have three containers. One container consists about the copper sulfate solution, another consists about the silver nitrate solution, another consists about the zinc sulfate solution, and the same quantity of electricity pass through them. When these all three electrolytic solutions are connected in series, then according to this law, we can able to write like this: WCU divided by WAG equal to ECU divided by EAG, and even they become equal to ZCU divided by ZAG. So by the help of this thing, we easily undergo the calculation of amount of another material if amount of one material and their equivalent weight is not. So we can say that here, these are the concept about your Faraday law, that is quantitative extract about the Faraday law. Next class we discuss the certain another important topic. Till goodbye, thank you, and wait for another video created by PK. Thanks.